Hey guys, welcome back to Bookish.Taylor. I am Taylor, and today I'm here to bring you the How I Read book tag. Now, I saw Kaz and Piera do this. I will have that video linked down below, as well as the original creator of this tag. But it's a relatively quick 8-question tag. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So we will go ahead and start with question number 1, which is how do you find new books to read? When it comes to new books, I usually am on Instagram and I'm like, oh, this cover looks really interesting, and then I'll check it out and see how people feel about it. Or I can be on Goodreads and see that people have added certain books to a TBR or they're currently working on it. So that's really how I find out about new books. Question number 2 is how did you get into reading? I got into reading at a relatively young age. My mom really supported the idea, and like we had trips to the library when we were younger, so it's something that has always been a part of my childhood and a part of my life. And I remember being in like 4th grade and my teacher was reading Harry Potter, and I think I've told this story before, but I was really blown away by Harry Potter, so I went ahead and I picked up the first 2 books and I read them. And then I kind of took a break, and then I was in middle school, freshman year, and read all of the Harry Potter books that I could get my hands on. And then I think from there it just kind of exploded. So it was Harry Potter and then Twilight my senior year. So yeah, that's really what got me into reading, was those 2 books. And I'm really thankful because I love reading. Is my number 1 pastime. Question number 3 is how has your taste in books changed since you've gotten older? I think that they've kind of changed, but I'm a little more open. I'm a little more open to adult novels, like adult contemporary, adult fantasy, and adult sci-fi books. But I've also picked up manga since I've been doing BookTube and reading more. So that's been a huge difference. I've also decided to start picking up classics. So I feel like that has kind of grown, where I used to be a strictly like young adult, contemporary, young adult fantasy, sci-fi reader, but now I feel like it's grown a little bit to include, you know, like manga and adult novels as well as classics. Question number 4 is how often do you buy books? I buy books way more often than I should. I don't do a whole lot of hauls because it's to the point to where I am ashamed of the books that I buy. I do unboxings when I get them on my Instagram, but at this point it's like I haul so many books that it's almost sickening. But I'm gonna have to start like not buying books because I need to move, and I just realized that I have to move all of these books that I've been buying. I'm hopefully gonna get it down to like 5 books a month, and maybe those are gonna be like 5 new releases that I really want, because if it's like backlog books I can just wait. And so I'm really only gonna give myself 5 new releases a month from now on. So yeah, that's something I have to stick to, and I have to like not go on Book Outlet and buy books anymore. Oops. I mean, I'm really glad I live right down the street from a library, because if I really need to read, you know, like pick up an older book, I can just go to the library and see if it's there. Question number 5 is how did you get into booktubing? I got into booktubing. I work 3rd shifts, and it was one summer where I was working like 12-hour overnights, and I was like, I'm gonna go surf YouTube. And I started surfing YouTube, and I come across Sasha from A Book Utopia, and she was talking about, I think she was talking about the Mortal Instruments, and I think I was really interested and really intrigued by the TV show that's coming out, because I really enjoyed the movie, and then I read the 1st and 2nd book, so I really was curious, and I think she came up as a recommended video, and so I watched, and I was like, oh, there's a community of people that do this. How did I not know about this? And then it turns out I found a little niche on the internet to talk about books that I thoroughly enjoy. Question number 6 is how do you react when you don't like the ending of a book? I kind of just close it and move on. Like, if I don't like the ending of a book, that I just, like, if it's, like, say if it's like the 1st or 2nd book and it's like, oh, I have the other one, I'm just going to close it and pick up the next book and see if that helps my, you know, like, broken heart. But if it's the end of a series, I just kind of close it and move on and try not to get slumpy, because if I get into a book slump, then I'm just not going to read. Question number 7 is how often do you take a sneak peek at the end of a book to see if there's going to be a happy ending? Never. I used to when I was younger. I used to like read the like last page of a book because I'm some kind of psychopath, but not anymore. I tend to try to avoid doing that. Like I will check to see how many pages there are and how many pages I have to read until I'm finished, but I try not to look at the ending. And then question number 8 is, who are you going to tag? Everyone I'm going to have tagged is going to be down below. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the How I Read book tag. I want to know, how often do you guys buy books? And if you don't buy books often, if you utilize your library like a smart person, I want to know, how often do you sneak peek at the end of the book to see how the ending is? So yeah, I look forward to seeing your answers. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!